A boy with low self-confidence who realizes that the girl he has a crush on is a vampire, and now he has to face this problem. On the other hand, an alien girl is also jealous of their relationship, so I suggest you stay with me until the end of this fascinating anime. Hello guys, welcome to Animo Time channel. For today's video, we have a well-made anime with some adult scenes, which is better to watch it alone. The story is about a boy named Asahi who has low self-confidence and has a little difficulty in communicating. This boy has a crush on one of his classmates named Yuko, who also has a problem communicating and she has no friends. One day, Asahi finally decides to propose to Yuko, but when he enters the class, he sees that Yuko has wings like a bat. When these two see each other, they don't know what to say because of fear. Yuko confesses that she is a vampire. Yuko is upset and says that I was allowed to come to school until no one would know about my secret, but now that you know, my father won't let me come to school anymore. Asahi says I'm not good at keeping secrets, but I swear I won't tell anyone your secret. After that, Asahi says that we can be friends, and because Yuko has never had a friend before, she is very happy and accepts. A girl named Mikon, who is the head of the school newspaper, comes to ask about Asahi's proposal, while we see a girl named Nagisa watching them from a distance. Before we go to the continuation of the story, let me say one thing. Nagisa is the girl whom Asahi proposed to be friends with last year, but she rejected Asahi's proposal. And now, when she sees Asahi and Yuko's relationship, she becomes jealous. Girls are really strange, they reject your requests but they still don't want you to be with someone else. In the next scene, we see Yuko and Asahi eating lunch alone, far from the rest of their classmates. Yuko is very hungry, and her own food doesn't satisfy her. She eats a piece of food that Asahi brought for himself, but the food was so spicy that Yuko lost control, and flew to the corner of the room and hit her head on the wall. Suddenly, Nagisa enters the room and sees Yuko. She is very shocked to see Yuko, but she comes out of his body and points a small gun at them, which turns out to be an alien in a robot suit and has come to Earth to investigate. Nagisa goes after Asahi with a hammer to erase his memory of what he saw, but Yuko stops her and says that the three of us should keep each other's secrets and not tell anyone. Later, we see that Mikon tortures Asahi's friends and Asahi himself to get more information about their dates in class, but it doesn't work. In the next scene, we see Asahi's teacher giving some homework to him, and telling him to take these to Yuko's house, because she was sick and didn't come to school. Mikon finds out about this, and decides to go after Asahi. When Nagisa finds out, she decides to help Asahi and stop Mikon. Asahi finally succeeds and goes to Yuko's house. While the two are talking, Nagisa calls and says that Mikon escaped and is now coming towards you. Asahi leaves Yuko's room and when Mikon gets there, there is no one there, but Yuko's closet opens and all her things fall on Mikon. But Mikon doesn't give up and decides to Photoshop a photo of Asahi and Yuko and spread the news in the school. Asahi tries to stop her and asks her not to do this, but Mikon likes this begging and becomes more determined to spread the news. When Asahi sees this, he says to broadcast it at all, and I really like that our news is broadcast in school. When Mikon hears this, she has no motivation to spread the news and gives up. In the next scene, we see Nagisa hitting Asahi's feet with her small size and asking him for help. She says that right before I charge my robot suit, it has run out of charge and now I need help. With the help of Yuko, Asahi goes to the women's washroom and takes Nagisa's body to the nursery to be recharged. But by bad luck, nosy Mikon finds little Nagisa. Nagisa stands motionless so that Mikon thinks she is a figure who will succeed. Meanwhile, a deviant boy comes and tries to take Nagasi's clothes off, but luckily Asahi manages to catch her and save her. Asahi takes her to a room where Nagisa mysteriously transforms into her own large size. While Nagisa finally manages to escape, suddenly a strange girl with a horn turns Nagisa into a small size again. The next day, Asahi notices that the sunlight is bothering Yuko. After all this time, you just realized that vampires are sensitive to sunlight. If you watched a few movies, you would understand sooner. To solve this problem, Nagisa teaches Yuko how to dodge the sun and be able to go to the street during the day. These three go to the street together. Everything goes well until they reach a street without shadows and Yuko is disappointed. Asahi recommends sunscreen. The next day, Yuko uses sunscreen and comes to school, so she has no problem with sunlight anymore. Yuko offers to go to the amusement park so that she can get Nagisa and Asahi closer. But Nagisa refuses because she also wants Asahi and Yuko to get closer. Yuko and Asahi go to the game hall and enter the panic room. Yuko is very scared at first, but when she sees a fake vampire, she laughs and goes outside. Yuko tells Asahi that our date is very close to my parents' date and they were going out like us. Suddenly, a werewolf appears on their way, which was actually sent by Yuko's father because he suspected Asahi. That werewolf named Shido threatens Asahi, but when he sees the moon, he turns into a very hot and beautiful girl named Shiho. The three of them go to Yuko's house where Shiho says that Shido and I share a body. Fascinated by Asahi, Shiho tempts him, which makes Yuko jealous. Yuko says that when they see the picture of the moon, their bodies change, and because she is jealous of Shiho, she shows her the picture of a moon so that she becomes Shido again. Shido falls on Asahi and threatens him. Asahi shows the photo of the moon and he turned back into Shiho. But just then Nagase enters the room and sees them in a bad situation. She gets upset and leaves the room, but when she returns to the room a few moments later, she sees that the girl has turned into a boy and is shocked again. The next day, Asahi and Yuko explain to Nagisa what happened last night. In the next scene, we see Shiho coming to the class and introducing herself as a transfer student. Then we see that Shiho doesn't give up on Asahi and provokes him again, which makes Asahi get a nosebleed and Nagisa becomes more jealous. When Asahi and Yuko are walking, they see a little girl with horns and they are completely surprised. Yuko talks to the girl whose name turns out to be Akane, and who is related to their teacher. Asahi and Yuko go to the principal's room and find out that Akane is a 1,000-year-old demon and she is their teacher's great-great ancestor, who also has real horns. Akane says that it was because of me that there are supernatural creatures in your class. Akane suggests a sexy contest and Shiho plays the role of judge. At the same time, we see that Nagase is investigating the evil force in the school from her spaceship. In the contest, Akane and Yuko try their best to look sexy, but Asahi's reaction to Shiho is more than all of them. Let's accept she is much sexier. Yuko suggests eating cream puff, the one who made her hit her head to the wall at the beginning of the story. These two eat cream puffs, but they cause the school gym to explode. Asahi realizes that he has to take the cooking class again. When he goes to class, he sees Yuko, Nagisa, and Shiho joining him in the class. Nagisa makes a chocolate cake that Akane accidentally eats and falls in love with the cake. One night, Akane enters Akari's apartment through the wall and tells her that Nagisa should make me a chocolate cake again. But when Akari refuses her request, she gets angry and sends an asteroid towards the Earth with her own energy to destroy the Earth. She wants to kill us all just for a chocolate cake? The girls get back together to make a chocolate cake for Akane. Akari puts the chocolate cakes made by the girls into Akane's mouth except for the cake made by Nagisa. Akane copies herself to get to Nagisa's cake, but the girls fight her clones and stop her. While Akane calms down, Nagisa's comrades manage to stop the asteroid and the Earth is saved. The asteroid was like, okay, this is U-turn, I'm going back. Thank you for being with me in this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe so you don't miss new videos.